Hello everyone and welcome back to my B&B Everyday YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. While Hope and Carter were kissing and close talking, Steffy intruded them, but she was none the wiser. Her take Hope was badgering Carter about hope for the future. After the COO left, Hope and Steffy tried to have a mature discussion, but not before Steffy harangued Hope about bothering Carter. Also, she makes a sardonic citation of how Hope kissed Finn, but they both tried to feel on board with chancing a way to attend peacefully. The ultimate thing would be their families to get on and be musketeers indeed. Eventually, they do and yell at each other. Still, when they talk about their maters, Hope says Brooke could admire Taylor's relationship with Ridge. Still, Steffy can't help but say commodity about how, since Taylor's a good person, she'll no way try to break up Brooke and Ridge. On the other hand, they will have a love that no way dies. At Steffy's, Brooke continued to catch on Ridge and Taylor, shaking up their chakras. With each exercise or disguise, they worked on their connection. The final disguise had Taylor straddling Ridge's stage. At the end of the session, Taylor felt lighter and freer and no longer wanted to keep her trip a secret. After Ridge left, Brooke walked by and wanted to know what was going on. Taylor eventually revealed to Brooke that she had broken hearts pattern. Brooke looked skeptical and furious. Brooke brazened Taylor about the spectacle she saw from hence. At one point, Taylor straddled Ridge's stage and they looked intimate. Brooke demanded Taylor to fill her in because the optics were bad. Taylor explained her heart problems, broken heart pattern, and the purpose of the mending session. First, Brooke was hella skeptical. She allowed. This was all a ploy for Taylor to get near to Ridge. Indeed, after she started to accept the broken heart pattern part of it, she still indicted Taylor of going after Ridge and asked her not to. At the sanitarium, Finn and Steffy were the happy couple. In between kissing, they bandied Taylor and Ridge taking over their house that night. They had no idea what was going on in their home, but Steffy couldn't help but be curious. Ridge arrived at Eric's, where Ridge was eventually suitable to get Eric up to speed on the Taylor broken heart opinion. Eric told Ridge that Brooke allowed. She demanded to be bothered about Taylor. Ridge assured his pater that she didn't need to feel this way. He'd explain everything to her as soon as he could. Latterly, Brooke and Ridge talked. Brooke told him she knew about everything, and that she, in fact, had brazened Taylor. Meanwhile, Ridge let her know that Taylor had asked him not to say anything to anyone. Brooke wanted to know what he was doing with High's ex-wife. Ultimately, Taylor sat Steffy down and told her son why she and Brooke had to have a talk. And she started to tell Steffy about coming back to Los Angeles to be with her and the grandkids and to deal with the fact that she allowed. She was dying. Taylor continued to talk to Steffy about her heart complaint dread and the broken heart pattern opinion. The aligning of her chakras with Ridge helped her immensely. As long as she kept her movables with the cardiologist and took her drug, she'd continue feeling like a new woman. Ridge and Chandra helped her deal with stuff she hadn't dealt with for a long time, including Phoebe's death. While Steffy told Taylor not to worry about Brooke, Taylor assured her she wouldn't. Although she was sent back in city to reunite with Ridge, still she surely wanted him in her life. Meanwhile, Brooke and Ridge talked about what happened between him and Taylor. She wanted him to help her understand what went on, and he described the whole yab-yum disguise the bone, with Taylor straddling Ridge and how they connected and came one. Brooke told Ridge that a disguise like that isn't commodity you do with someone who's not your significant other or woman. He should have told her what he'd planned for Taylor. But now that they had cleared all that up, she wanted him to show her the same yab-yum disguise. Supposedly, Liam created some kind of videotape homage for HFTF, and it was principally a look at Hope's life, her work life and her family life with Liam and the kiddies. And he made it clear that he'd been allowing about her and was inspired by her. Indeed, though she liked the way they were now, he kissed her out of the blue and told her he'd been staying to do that for a long time. Steffy and Ridge talked about Taylor and the whole spiritual mending scene at her house. When Steffy allowed, Brooke had to have had a conniption seeing Taylor straddling Ridge. Ridge had an answer for her. He told her how he and Brooke made up for that. When Steffy replied, Brooke walked by. Meanwhile, Hope was stressed about the forthcoming HFTF meeting. Liam tried to calm effects down by offering to take Beth for the evening. Carter intruded, and after he hyped Hope up for the meeting, They had no choice but to attend. At Spencer Publications, Will delivered news that he hoped wouldn't upset his pater too much. He was now an intern at Forrester. Bill wasn't happy with the news, but once he set about why Will wanted it, the beautiful women who worked there, he got on board. Latterly, Will, Liam, and Bill talked about a guy's night so Bill could spend further time with Will, and Liam of course talked about Liam wanting Hope again. Latterly, at the HFTF meeting, Steffy constantly asked Carter for the HFTF figures. Only he skirted the question and laid out his studies for saving HFTF. After all, it wasn't each about the nethermost line. They demanded to take a new strategy and put some energy and plutocrat into it like they did with Brooke's bedroom. Zend and RJ were there and agitated about their benefactions. But it was hard to expostulate when Carter called Hope a lamp of light, and didn't hold back on how the fashion line demanded support, not a cancellation. Steffy opens up to Finn about the HFTF meeting, and how Carter stepped up for Hope and defended her line. Steffy looked nonplussed as to why Carter felt the fashion line should be saved. That perhaps he saw commodity that she didn't. Brooke thanked Carter for all the nice effects he said about Hope and HFTF. Also headed to Il Giardino where she streamlined Cleric about Steffy going after Hope's line again. The two talked about Carter being the one to stand up for the line. Deacon offered to shoot Carter a couple of pizzas for his trouble. Back at the office, Hope tried to thank Carter for his work, but he told her that no thanks were demanded. She appreciated him standing up for her line, and he truly felt that cutting it would be a mistake. He also suggested they celebrate at his place. At Spencer Publications, Bill wanted to learn further about what Will told Liam about Hope. When Bill wanted to know how Hope responded to Liam wanting to reunite, Liam had to tell his pater that she didn't exactly run into his arms. He understood where she was coming from, but he wasn't going to give up. Latterly, Will told his family to fight for Hope. At Carter's apartment, Hope thanked Carter again, which redounded in him admitting he couldn't stop allowing about her. Also, the two gabbled about Liam. Carter knew Liam wanted her back. She verified that her partner wanted to reunite, but she told him she wasn't about that life. Carter offered some advice, further respects, and indeed a flashback to Rome and the Piazza Navona. Eventually, he told Hope it would be a huge mistake if she went back to Liam. At least not before she completely explored what differently was out there. The two ended the occasion by making out. But Hope suddenly put a halt to the action. Why did she decide to hit pause?